Hey everybody, this is Waiting to Drive Minisodes. I'm Joshua Lord coming at you live.
Sergio Lopez on the ones and twos.
Hey, and we've got no one as a guest. But we have a topic. This is your topic.
Yeah, I was just curious. Just your process of putting the new merchandising stuff together. Like, were there, I guess, like unforeseen setbacks or any sort of like thing that like kind of behind the scenes sort of thing? I think people would be interested in hearing about that.
Unforeseen setbacks, like such as what?
Oh, I don't know, like production or stuff like that. Like what were, I guess like a rundown of like what, like maybe the costs were or like anything like that.
I think I spent something like $5,000 on merchandise. Maybe more. I'd have to like look at the numbers.
Man.
And just like shit involving the merchandise.
Yeah.
As far as like production, I had no complaints. Everything came out like I was pretty excited about everything that I presented.
Yeah.
There's some things I would have probably done differently. Mm-hmm. I think I lost track of strategy when it came to rolling out prints.
Okay.
Which I think was a mistake, but I learned a decent amount from it.
Strategy, like in what way?
In that, I think I'd made the run too large. I still have prints available, and look on joshualawyer.com if you're interested.
Yeah.
But I think I made the run too large because my intentions with the prints or my print sales in general are to give people maybe not the equivalent to, but something similar to when you buy an original painting, which is
okay,
that you have something that not everyone can have. Mm-hmm. Can have. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think in that terms, you have to be very intentional in the supply and demand when it comes to that, and making sure that you nail that, because the moment like say if I buy a print from someone today, right, and then so let's say they release it and they do a print run of, I don't know, 100 or 200, and it sells out within like an hour, let's say, right?
Okay.
Although there's 200 going out, those 200 people who get it know that that print isn't available anymore, and that they are part of a small group of people who get to own this thing.
Yeah.
And and there's something about like owning an original painting that's always going to be involved with, and that doesn't always happen with a print.
Yeah.
And I think a very big part of that is the scarcity of it, and understanding that that's not a negative, that's a valuable thing to the consumer, not necessarily to me. Like there's no benefit in me doing a print that sells out in an hour when I could have done like 5 times the amount and sold it within a month, let's say, right?
Okay.
But there's a benefit to the consumer in that, because they understand that they got something that was only available for a short amount of time, that they get to have, and that adds value to that possession. It does for me. Like if I get a print that sells out really quick, I'm like really excited about it. I'm like, fuck yeah, like I got that thing. It's the same reason why fucking people buy Yeezys and shit.
Right.
And however you might feel about it, it's there. Like, and if you're against that idea and you thought about it a little bit, you would see that you probably have that for something you own. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think and when I first started doing prints, I had this idea of making sure that I kept that feeling, but then I think I did the one and I felt like it went exactly how I planned, the first one. And then this one didn't go as good as I was hoping for. And I think I did 2 mistakes, which was I think I raised the price too quickly, and I think I did the run too large of a run.
Okay.
And I think those are two things I'm gonna have to change. I did a larger print this time, and then I valued that too high. If that makes any sense. So
Okay.
so I was like, oh, this is a larger print. I'm gonna raise the price on it, and I think that was a mistake. At least for the size difference. Maybe if it was like super large or something, it would validate it. But I don't know yet.
What was the print size? The the amount of prints you made?
100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you were selling for how much?
75.
Okay.
And I don't think either of those prices are ridiculous. But it what it does is it diminishes my possibility of succeeding at the idea I have for what I want prints to be. Do you know what I mean? Like the larger I raise the price and the larger I raise the number, the smaller of a chance I have to hit that target of making sure that the people that get it feel like they've got something special.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was one of the things I learned with this print run, which is my second print run I've ever done. So it was like a really big learning step for me.
Yeah.
And I have some, and I'm not like super mad at myself. I'm not going to beat myself up for it. Just next time I know what I have to do differently. And then as far as like stickers and stuff and like stickers and clothing, I mean, I'm really excited. I'm really happy with how that turned out and like got like a huge amount of support through that stuff. And I'm really happy with that. And it's like one of those things where, I mean, spending $5,000 is a huge chunk of money and a huge risk. And if you guys are interested in purchasing it, feel free. But, I'm really excited about where it's going.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that, I mean, although this, I talked about in the last episode about how the shirt is going to be like, once all of them sell out, I'm just going to go to the next design.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's more, I think that's more about me just trying to grow as fast as I can as like designing stuff for apparel.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah.
You know, it's more about trying to grow as fast as I can and not getting stuck or stagnant with a design that I really like at this moment. And then I get the benefit of like whoever buys these now has like the first shit, and I feel like that adds value. I mean, I'm not doing it for that reason for them, but I just think it's like a cool byproduct.
Yeah. Well, like speaking of quality, how did you deal with quality control with something like the shirts and the stickers where it's not like, because like the prints you did here in house, right, on your printer? Yeah.
So the shirts is local, and I went there and visited their place and like felt all the clothes they were using.
Oh, cool.
And talked to the person for a long time and looked through all their prints they made, so I can kind of gauge the quality and like the people that work there and gauge how much they're like committed to making sure things are gonna go well. And I was pretty happy with how that went with like our little meeting. And then after that, I was off and running. I already had the design in place, and then they sent me proofs, and it was just digital proofs.
Okay.
And I was still kind of worried leading up to the day I was driving up there to pick up all the clothes. I was like, fuck, if I come up and like, and I like look at the clothes and it looks shitty, I'm going to be so fucking like hurt and heartbroken.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the research I did paid off, because like the second I got there I was fucking, and I'm so like the clothes I'm so excited about. Like, I hate how shitty I am at taking pictures of things because, I don't know. To me, they're like everything I was hoping for.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so yeah, I went local. I know there's like the ones where people can order it and then they print them out. But MJ's bought something from there, and like it was not good quality at all.
Yeah.
And like the design on the clothes like faded super quick through the washes.
Oh, did it?
And then they broke up really quickly. And I knew, because of that, I knew like that was not an option. I knew, I was like, I want silkscreen. Like I want the design to be there. You know, I've had silkscreen shirts that last. Like the shirt always falls apart before the design is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's what I want. I want this shit to and I want the shirt to be like high quality, so it feels good when you wear it. Because I don't want to like have one of those like, you know, people rocking like not wearing my shirt because
it's like a Hanes beefy tee.
Yeah, exactly. Shit feels like cotton leather or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I did all my research with that. The stickers, though, I went through Sticker Mule.
Oh, okay.
And I was stoked.
I like Sticker Mule.
Yeah, their quality was good. And I just took the risk. Plague told me he used it. Shot to Plague, and I was like, I'll give it a go.
Nice. Yeah, they're pricier than other places, I think, right? Yeah. But yeah, there's definitely a noticeable jump in quality from cheaper places.
Yeah, and that's that's like the tricky part of it all is like, do I cut as much cost as I can and just like give up on quality? But in my mind, I can't do that. I'm such like I like good things, and I think when you have something good, you value it way more. Like you treat it better, and even like something like a sticker, I feel like I know that like I can tell when I have like when I get someone stickers if they're good or not. MJ, she always puts her stickers on her like water bottle. Okay. And she runs her water bottle through the fucking through the dishwasher. And they were like I'm not gonna name any names, but y'all need to spend some more money on your fucking stickers, because that shit like deteriorated like immediately. And then everyone that spent a little bit of extra money on theirs are dishwasher friendly.
Those are the ones that have kind of like that plastic sort of coating on it. I don't know exactly what it is. It's kind of like a vinyl type of thing.
Which one's the
ones that
yeah. And I mean, I don't know, and maybe, and that's why things are like, especially like I try to price it. I'm not making like a shitload of money from any of these things, and I'm taking a huge risk with them. So that's like, but it's one of those things where it's like, how much I would rather make less money and have someone be really happy with like what they got, than save money or like give them a lower price and I don't know, make the same amount of money or make more money with the same price and give them a shitty product. Yeah. So it's that dilemma.
Yeah, because they're more likely to come back and buy more of the merch if they know it's good quality, right? If it's one, like you'll make more, I guess, in the beginning, but then you don't have repeat customers, and then that ends up costing you money later. Then
but I don't know if I've answered your question on merchandise. But
I mean, I was just one other thing I wanted to. You went with somebody local specifically so you can like see the quality in person, right? It wasn't like to any sort of local loyalty or anything like that, really.
I just like, I mean, maybe like a small percentage of the reason why is that, but I just like to deal with people, like especially on like if I'm gonna like shell out a shitload of money, that I can like talk to and go to, rather than them like ship me stuff and I'm like, and I open the box while I'm home and I'm like, fuck, now I gotta call someone that I've never met and like have to yell at them or some shit. I don't know. I feel like building a relationship face to face is so much easier for me than. I actually realized recently that I hate talking on the phone, and I get like, I don't know, like. It's probably the closest I get to anxiety is having to call people on the phone, and it's like one of my I didn't even notice it till like recently.
Really?
It was like, I always have to talk to people on the phone, and I had to talk on the phone to a couple of people that day, and I was just dreading it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck, this must be how Sergio feels all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like talking on the phone either. Surprise.
Yeah. But I much rather talk to people face to face. So, yeah, I guess it's a selfish thing more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I want to see. I knew I wanted to see the quality of the clothing. I knew that too. I knew I wanted to like feel it and be like, I like this, I like that. Yeah.
What was the cost per unit on the shirts, like to you?
I would have to look up those numbers.
Okay.
I don't remember.
More than a few bucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's like I'm making like maybe like 20% profit on it. So like, I think, but I might be wrong. So I'm going to spend more than I'm not going to double my money by if I sell out all the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's something worth hearing for people who are thinking about it. Like, it's the benefit to doing it isn't necessarily going to be monetary. Like, yeah, if you break even, it's like, I guess, yeah, that would be something. Like, what overall the benefit to you doing this is more of like a, I don't know, what you call it, like a brand kind of thing for you, or?
Well, it's just, I think it's something that I want. Like, I just started thinking. I worked a little bit with a company that made clothing like early on when I was starting like do art. And it was like a big part of like, it was something that I always wanted to do.
Okay.
And then I get a bad taste in my mouth through that process.
Okay.
But it was more based on those people than necessarily the thing. And also, I feel like there was a lot of artists creating clothing at that time, like Upper Playground and that thing, that I was like inspired by. And then they went stagnant.
Yeah.
And it kind of turned me off of like, oh, like that shit's kind of played out and boring at this point. But that wasn't clothing's fault. That was Upper Playground's fault. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
And so there's people that I think are doing cool stuff with clothing, and it's like, oh yeah, that is a really cool thing to do. And maybe muraling also, and really trying to figure out like who I want to own my art, even though like a t-shirt's not really like a painting, but I remember when I first discovered Upper Playground, I like had a shitload of t-shirts from them.
Yeah.
And there was something about owning that is similar in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they had awesome shirts back in the day.
Yeah. And so yeah, there's like multiple reasons why I came to the point where I was like, I want to do this. And there's the benefit of like, building a brand, I guess. Whatever that may be. But it's going to be a grind of its own just to do that. And there's going to be a shitload of work if it succeeds at that. But for me, it's just trying to figure out how to make things available for people that can't purchase a painting.
Is that more what it's for to you in the end?
I think if it was a pie graph, that would be the largest slice.
I see.
Yeah. And then obviously there's other reasons, but that by far is the biggest reason why I got to this point. I think the first big question I had was, is there a way to tackle this that I would be excited about and really pumped to do? That was like the big hurdle of if I'm going to jump in or not. And then now I'm learning all the financial mistakes I make that I can learn from and get better at. Like,
I see.
I probably don't buy a equal amount of XL crop tops. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
no diss to my body positive folks, but a lot of those people aren't going to wear. A lot of people that are on the plus size figure aren't going to rock a crop top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I should have known that, but comes from like, this is the lesson I learned.
Right. Yeah.
And then
that makes sense.
Vice versa. It's like the black hoodies. It's like, these are guys, like I probably need, like I didn't make double XL hoodies. And I'm like, now that I'm sitting around, I'm like, oh, I should have done that. Like, guys are going to have bigger builds. And then also, like, some guys that aren't double XL size want to wear a baggier hoodie. So it's like,
right, yeah.
So it's like, I should have at least had some available. Mm-hmm. So,
did you get anybody asking for different sizes than you had available?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. And that's the lesson learned. Mm-hmm. And then also just looking at like the crop top ones, like looking at like the sales and being like, well, yeah, now it makes sense that the XL isn't going to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, it will, but it's going to be few and far between because not all of us are that body positive.
Yeah.
If I'm showing my gut, it's not on purpose.
Yeah, MJ looking for that model. She could sweeten the deal with one.
Exactly. But yeah, that's the those are the interesting, cool lessons you learn. Mm-hmm. That can just like sharpen your blade and hone your skills.
That's one of those things that's really hard to foresee, right? Until you go through it. Yeah. But I would imagine so.
It's always one of those things where like, it's like if you meet someone who's farther along in this process, they're probably going to have all of this knowledge and they're going to spat it out to you. Mm-hmm. And those are if you can surround yourself with people like that, then you can grow really fast and have a lot less growing pains.
Yeah, for sure. It's like when you went with like muralists, you talk with Jet and Amanda Lynn and all that, probably avoid a lot of headache too.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and now we're sharing those with you, you fine listeners.
Yeah.
So yeah. You got it? Wait, just wait for it. Oh, there it is. But yeah. I can't think of any other things.
Would you go through the same companies that you went through this time again?
For sure, the clothing company I'm going to stick with. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm going to change that anytime soon, unless I all of a sudden blow up and become get a deal with Target or some shit. But I'm not even trying to pursue.
Right.
But I think for the most part, I'm happy with that relationship. Sticker Mule, I think I'm fine with that. I think MJ's like, cause what's the other sticker company that did like everyone did a shout out for?
Oh, Sticker App.
Sticker App. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was like, oh, you can I can contact her and she'll give you like probably like 100 free stickers of each or something. I don't know. I can't remember the deal they worked out, but she was like, you'll probably get more than me because your following's bigger and they give more they give more based on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, this is my hesitation to calling people or contacting people. I'm like, I'm good. I'll just do it.
You want to do it, MJ? You can do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, she was like, I'll do it. And I'm like, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. But maybe I might try them next maybe and see which one I like more.
Yeah.
And try to get some free stickers out of it.
For sure.
But other than that, and we print it, so I'll keep me as my employee until I get, I don't know. That's one of those things too, where it's like if I buy, because I've also been thinking like, oh, maybe I want to buy a larger print to do a few runs of larger prints, and it's like one of those things where it's like, I could probably do that and just hire someone. Yeah,
for something like that, you may want to work with someone else.
No, I mean like just hire someone to stand there and print them.
Oh, okay.
And then that's cheaper. at the end of the day than going through like a printing company.
Oh, is it? Okay.
100%.
Really? Huh. Like buying a printer and all that? Like a larger printer?
100%.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. Okay, let's go through the math.
I don't know.
Okay, let's say if a large print, right, you can sell for $100, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much the large scale printers cost, so.
Yeah. Okay, but let's just go through the math of like of how much a print would cost, right?
Okay.
So like let's say if you can work yourself up to 100 prints for $100 each print, that's how much you're selling them for.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Okay.
$10,000. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you made $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge chunk of money. Okay. So you can easily buy a printer for that. Hire someone to do like day work for like $100 to $150 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Just stand there, hit the print button, pull the print, put it on a rack or something.
Okay.
And then maybe hire that person to also handle the packaging and shipping out.
Mm-hmm.
And then so let's say he's like another $500, right? So $500 plus, let's say the printer is like, I wouldn't say it's anything over $1,500, but maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. Well, that's less than I thought, but yeah. Okay.
So now you're already like, you're at like 7,000 or something. Let's just be nice and say like 6,000, right? Profit.
Okay.
Off of that. So you made 6,000. That's off your first run.
Mm-hmm.
Now your next run, you don't have to pay for the printer. You make more.
Mm-hmm.
And then every print after that.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you have a friend who needs some extra bucks, you're like, hey, you want to do this for a day or two and I'll give you this much money?
Uh-huh.
Then you win. Or if you do it yourself, you even win even more. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a slow, like meticulous process because those printers work so fucking slow. But yeah, I mean, there's huge, the hardest, the biggest benefit you go to if you go through like a one-time run or something is that they have the clientele built in.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But you benefit from their clientele. If you pursue it yourself and get yourself up to 100 prints, then you own your clientele. So you're more self-sufficient at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
You get to like make all the money or like way more money than if you did it through them. And then you get to build a clientele that you possess, not them. Mm-hmm. So they have their groups, and that's great. And I get the value they have for that. But the printing part and all that, that's not that expensive.
Okay.
So if you can build your own clientele.
I guess for some reason I thought the printing process was a lot more expensive than.
I think the man, I think people make it seem that way. I mean, it does take time. It does take like a couple of days of like you just sitting there and printing and
Okay.
quality control and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then packing is like, so it is like, work to do all, it's like, I don't know, like work, but it's time consuming. And meticulous work. But if you got a friend with a meth habit,
Are there any problems in the printing process itself?
yeah. So there's going to be technical issues,
I see.
and you just hit up the printer's technical people, and they'll run you through all the troubleshooting, and then you'll just get better at that, and you'll just become better at it.
Nice.
You just gain. To me, you gain like all this stuff and all this knowledge, and the ability to kind of control your own destiny and all those things, and not have to sit around and wait for a fucking print company be like, we want to choose you now. And I know you've worked with them. I can't remember. I think the cut is 50-50.
Yeah.
But yeah, and if that works for people, that's fine. I'm not trying to sell you, like, I'm not trying to knock anyone's hustle, but I just like to control as much of my process as possible.
Yeah, makes sense.
And there's so much more benefit to it. Like the growing your own crowd part is so much. There's so much about that's important.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Grow your own group of people who love your shit rather than rely on a gallery. Or that's my big tip. And no diss to galleries at all. If you like, I mean, we talked about Storm Sparrow highly, and I want to work with them, as long as we can. But I'm not going to rely on anyone to find me people who's into my shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If they have them, that's great, but I don't know.
Do you think at this point you're bringing more people to a gallery than they are to you?
Yeah, I would guess so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would guess that for a while. I would guess that for a while now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know there's some galleries I work with now that I've sold. All the work I've sold, I've sold through me.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's nice for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nice
yeah.
that they got it, but
Right.
but yeah, I mean, it's not
But that just like proves to you that, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, I mean,
myself too.
At least somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they don't have any value. I just, the whole like 50% thing is always like, you better prove that shit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And if you don't, then we're going to have issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And as far as the prints, I think they do prove their value in a way. Like they do have their buyer clientele.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of prints that I don't think would sell out if it wasn't through them, and they slang those bitches like crazy. So they definitely have a good group of people who are interested in buying prints.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a different type of market. Like there are people who specifically go for limited edition prints. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a community I was aware of before all this. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's because you're into too many whips and chains, Sergio. You got to broaden your horizon. Not everything's about orgies. You know what I mean?
Right. My orgies in the dark. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Did we do it?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if I answered any questions. I feel like that was a weird one.
Oh, well, I mean, I had a lot of things I was curious about. So if other people were curious too, I hope they...
Did I tackle anything else? Did you need anything else answered?
Customer services. Yeah, you did well with your customer service support.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I just talked about, because I feel like...
well, that was what I was interested in, really.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think other people will be like, because people always or lately, people have been really interested in the mini-sodes because we get a little bit more about like the ins and outs of things.
The business.
Yeah.
Brianna. Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought we were gonna. I'm so used to both of us giving an opinion on something. It's weird being.
Oh, I just kind of interviewed you about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Feel used. All right.
All right, guys. Well, that has been an episode of Waiting to Dry Mini-sode. If you are still listening and you are topless for some reason, go get a shirt, damn it.
Yeah.